Pursuit of a motorcycle. Desmond Shaw live in SkyCal with more. Desmond.
Well, Rudabeh, it is a motorcycle, and as they often are wanted for, speed once again. And this is what we have recently begun to dub as the Baldwin Park Special. That is the nightly occurrence of a motorcycle that refuses to pull over for CHP when they light them up, and it has happened yet again. So this has covered some ground. This came out of Baldwin Park, like I said, and we are really flying here. You can see over 100 miles an hour. Really tough to follow this shot because not only are we going to be dealing with LAX's airspace, but we have kind of some weather issues. We have to be down at the same altitude as law enforcement, and when it is kind of like that, we obviously need to give them a wide berth. So we're looking from more than a mile away as we fly towards the LAX area. So we came from Baldwin Park, south 605, westbound 105, and really just hauling here towards LAX. We've seen speeds over 100 miles an hour, crisscrossing lanes all over the place, single person on this motorcycle. We'll see what their move is going to be. The sheriff's helicopter overhead. I haven't seen any units directly behind this person since we got overhead this one. Trying to keep this shot for you here as we are on our way here by Hawthorne Airport. You can kind of see the clouds getting in our shot a little bit there as well. Motorcycle wanted for speed, westbound 105 here. Rudabeh, Mike?
Yeah, and really reckless driving, really high rates of speed, as you just mentioned, which is actually the want for this pursuit. And, you know, Mike, sometimes when we see these pursuits at this time of night, the 11 o'clock hour, there's not a lot of traffic on the freeways. But tonight, there are a lot of people in danger.
Yeah, he has picked himself one of the busier freeways. The 105 freeway, which obviously dumps out into LAX, usually has a little bit more traffic than some of the other freeways that he was on. Now, he came originally southbound 605 freeway and then got onto the westbound 105 from the southbound 605. He probably would have been able to avoid traffic a little bit better had he stayed on the 605. But looks like while we're coming up on an exit here, this is not going to be ideal for us or SkyCal, depending on which way he goes. If he goes southbound, he'll come towards us. Northbound, obviously, directly into LAX's airspace, which will prohibit the LA Sheriff's Department helicopter from following it as well as us. But he looks like, was it one of the pretend off-ramps, Des? Is he getting back on?
I think this is, if it's, I think it might be collector lanes right here. Yeah, you have the option, I believe, already to get off at Prairie. Well, actually, let's see if this is going to take us, no, maybe this is going to take us off of the freeway here. What a long ramp this is. Yeah, this is going to be taking us here off of the freeway. Just amazing freeway infrastructure here. Okay, so we're off now at Hawthorne Imperial Highway, and he is going north. And look at this cutting across lanes. How audacious right there, going right between there. That was pretty crazy, especially for a motorcyclist. If someone wasn't paying attention, it would have been game over for this guy. So into a residential neighborhood here. We'll see if this is calculated. This is going to be tough for everyone to follow because we are right up against LAX's airspace, which, as we've been warning you about lately, has even been a big problem for law enforcement. Plus, we kind of have some weather issues. They're not so low that we can't fly. We just can't really climb. That's kind of the other problem, to try to give you a better shot. But still going some pretty high speeds here through these neighborhoods as we make our way westbound. Could have been another close call right there. But this motorcyclist continuing to get a little bit farther away from us. Let's see what they do here as we get up to this busy intersection. Okay, a southbound turn now into Inglewood Avenue. A little bit better here, but it continues. But yeah, look, we've got a lot of people out here. You know, it's Friday night. People either going out for the night or coming back. So, you know, even though it's later at night, it is a Friday, and definitely seeing some increased traffic on all these roadways.
And definitely really hard to follow this guy with all of these dangerous maneuvers he's doing, weaving in and out of traffic at those speeds. A couple of close calls there that we just saw. That's a tough one to follow and stay close behind and not pose more danger to other people on the roads.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And, I mean, that was a really crazy maneuver there, cutting right across traffic. I mean, it's crazy. And I mean, look at these, 80 miles an hour right here. One wrong turn, and it is donezo for this guy. He would be lucky to come away with serious injuries if he makes one miscalculation. That's really the double-edged sword of these motorcycles. They are just so quick and can get away, squeeze through, tight situations, speed up, slow down at the turn of a dime like this. So adroit, but of the flip side, you have nothing to protect you if you make one wrong move. And we've seen it way too many times before with these motorcyclists, and this guy is really rolling the dice here southbound on Inglewood Avenue.
Well, and not only his miscalculation, but if any of these drivers that are in front of him try to make a last-second move to try to get away from him or correct, then he puts himself right in the path of them too as we're coming southbound here. Hopefully the bike just runs out of gas, construction zone a little bit there. slowing down. Obviously not entirely clear what he wants to do. The amount of geography he has covered since we started this chase. I mean, this started in Baldwin Park. Right a couple minutes before the 11 o'clock, we were southbound 605, and then all of a sudden, all the way through to the west side here in the Hawthorne area. So he has covered a significant amount of ground, Rudabeh, since we've even started this, and that's evident by the speeds that he is going, and by the fact that it's not that CHP doesn't want to be behind this guy. They've had such a hard time even catching up to him to try to get behind him and chase him as we go back under the 105 freeway here, back northbound. Or sorry, Des, is this the one? What is this? The 405 now?
Yeah, that was the 405. So westbound El Segundo now getting into the South Bay, and this will take us over towards Sepulveda and the Manhattan Beach, Hermosa Beach area. All of those nice little beach towns if he continues on this trajectory. So south of LAX, first time we've seen him, stop just briefly there and then just, right through that light. So yeah, like Mike said, I mean, when you're dealing with a motorcycle, it can just be so difficult for these officers to catch up on the ground. And I mean, I feel like even the helicopter is having some trouble, even though we're clear of the LAX airspace here for the moment, and the shot getting kind of far away from us as well as we allow that helicopter to try to catch up to the suspect to try to monitor it a little bit better through another red light there. But yeah, someone fiddling with their radio or trying to text or something like that, which is obviously way too common on roadways. We see it every day, and that's it. It doesn't matter how good of a driver this motorcyclist is. If someone doesn't see him and one wrong turn, yeah, it's obviously very few things more dangerous than a motorcycle pursuit, in busy streets of Los Angeles on a Friday night.
And we're seeing him go through these red lights and cut through traffic, do all these crazy maneuvers at high rates of speed. And as he goes toward these beach communities, you have to worry about, pedestrians out on a Friday night too, not just cars and other traffic. Looks like we're not seeing him right at this moment.
Yeah,
we get back to him on the other side there. Yeah,
we made a northbound turn, he's going to go right under, this is Lincoln. He's going to go right under the runways at LAX. If he continues the route that he is going. We will obviously not be able to follow that because of the airspace restrictions. The sheriff's helicopter may not even be allowed. Now we'll see if the LAX controllers let them go over the top of the terminal areas, which they've not frequently been doing for us lately. So, at this point, he may be able to either get back, if he goes back eastbound on the 105 or gets lost in the tunnels near LAX. That's what we're trying to sort out right now. That sheriff ship is doing the best they can, but they're also running up to airspace restrictions as well.
When you zoom out there, you see how vast this area is. One little motorcycle in this big city trying to track it down like that, given the flight restrictions, the weather restrictions, and the airspace there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot to contend with. There's a lot of helicopters down there as well. The FAA got incredibly serious about what we're allowed to do and not do. There's the sheriff's helicopter that Desmond is looking at right now. They don't have any units behind it, and now I'm listening to the dispatcher for CHP say that the West LA units don't want to get involved in it. So this may be a situation where, unfortunately, this guy is going to give him a slip and, got into some tough weather areas, got into some tough airspace issues, and may have been able to elude them. So it sounds like the LA Sheriff's helicopter also lost sight of him.
Okay, well, this happens pretty frequently, actually, with the motorcycles getting away there. So, of course, we'll continue to try to keep an eye on it, see if we get this pursuit back. In the meantime, I want to move on to other breaking news tonight. A deadly shooting in Inglewood. A driver shot, leading to a crash. The mayor saying this happened around 6:30 near the Kia Forum. A man came up to another driver's door and fired twice. The victim took off, but then crashed and died at the scene.